Welcome back to my channel. Yeah, so I did quit technically for almost 6 months, I think, and I am coming back. So I'm going to talk just very briefly about like the things I learned while being gone and kind of what I'm trying to do going forward. It's not really like channel changes, it's more like internal work and kind of like balancing my life. So let me just pull up my notes and I'll edit this little piece out. So I don't know, I don't remember honestly, the reasons that I told everybody that I was leaving, but basically the gist of it is I have really bad seasonal depression, basically from November until like sometimes the end of March. If I seem like I'm talking really quiet, it's because I have roofers here today and I really don't want them to hear me talking to a camera. So that's the reason. Anyways, I have really, really bad seasonal depression. I get really bad fatigue. Just kind of had a lot going on when I did decide to take a step back kind of indefinitely. I just needed some time to adjust. I had just started a new job. I was working full time, had just graduated, first full librarian position. My commute went up about 100% because it was a 5-minute commute before, and then my new job now is like an hour and some change usually one way. And I had just gotten a puppy who you guys have not seen much of, but I'm hoping I can put together. I have a bunch of clips from when we adopted him, but we've had him almost a year now. We got him, I think, end of July last year. And his birthday is in May. So he's almost 1 year old, and I don't really think I put a lot of footage. I don't know if I have any on the channel of him, but we did have a puppy and I had basically just adopted him. So I had a lot going on. It's really busy and it was just overwhelming, like trying to balance YouTube and stuff. But part of that, like I said, is kind of in my head. So I wanted to just mention why I decided to come back. Mostly I just miss it. It's my main creative outlet. And I miss having somewhere to talk about the books I'm reading. I also felt like I'd finally started to, I'm not really like trying not to focus too much on like the viewership, the numbers per se, but I feel like we have finally started to build a community here, of just maybe like a core couple people, and I just don't, that's the whole reason I started a channel, was to meet people and talk about books and have a little community around books. Because I don't have a lot of friends that read. Some of my friends do read. Specifically, my best friend reads quite a lot now. So I have someone to talk to about books, but, and being a librarian, obviously, every day at work, I can talk about books, but not the kind I want to read, not everybody reads the same kind. So anyways, I felt like I had started to get a little bit of a community here, and I just didn't want to, I've worked really hard to build that for several years, and I just didn't want to let it go so easily, especially when I really do enjoy making videos. So, and then just a couple of the little things I learned and what I'm trying to embrace going forward. So less editing, especially when I'm just talking. Like, I don't need to cut this whole section up. Articulate person, the most concise person. I do kind of talk very fast. I stumble over my words quite a bit. I say constantly. All of this is usually ADHD related. It is what it is. I try to take notes, but if you don't like the way I talk or the rambliness of my videos, this probably just isn't going to be the place for you, because I'm trying to do less like stringent editing of myself, especially when I'm just talking candidly about something or in general about books, because I don't need to. And it takes a lot of effort and energy to heavily edit every video that I make. In general, I need to release perfection. Perfection is not existent, and it's just not going to happen. I need to take my time, and this probably means less videos in general, and probably not an upload every week, and my schedule for uploading may be more erratic. I will say I am going to stick with Saturdays, but it's not going to be every Saturday. Sometimes it might be every Saturday, sometimes it won't. just it might be a little chaotic and unorganized, but it will always still be Saturdays at 10 a.m. EST because that's the day I like to put my videos out. But I don't know if I'm going to have the energy to do one where I'm having one every week consistently. That's the problem with, mental health and chronic illness and chronic fatigue and pain and everything. It's like I have the energy sometimes. I don't have the energy all the time. And that's not just with YouTube. That's everything in my life. That's my hobbies. That's working full time, So, and some things take priority. Obviously, I have bills to pay. So, leading into that, I am going to be taking breaks more often and really just whenever I feel like I need it. I have a bad habit too of I'll say like, I'm taking a break. I won't film today, but I kind of like push it off to the next day or like the next week when I have free time. And I think I need to be like, I'm going to put a pin in it. If I feel like I don't feel like filming today, I'm going to say, okay, well, I'll decide next week whether or not I feel like filming. Because when I give myself permission to take a break, it's like with this caveat of, well, if you don't do it this week, you'll do it next week and you have to do it then. But realistically, I don't have to do it then either. And I think that like adds that pressure of feeling like I have to do it when it's just a hobby. So I'm just trying to take a step back from doing that. Obviously, I already talked about making content that I'm just enjoying, so that's what I'm going to do. It is whatever I feel like filming. And lastly, I'm probably going to be doing long breaks in the winter, just due to my mental health. So that's probably, I looked at my schedule already, and it's probably going to be about November until March, where I may not upload. It's just reality. And I think I'm going to give myself that as like vacation time. And I want to try that for a year and see how that goes. Just like giving myself that permission to take several months off. Because I know my seasonal depression is going to kick my ass. It really kicked my ass this year. I was doing okay at the start, but I have never had it where my seasonal depression was in full swing still by the end of March. It wasn't really until April rolled around and it started to warm up that things started to get better. Normally, March, it's a little sunnier where I live, and that usually is better. But because it was still cold for some reason this year, just did not, I don't know, or that I was just so, and I'm taking vitamin D too, and it was bad this year. I really struggled for a couple months there. But anyway, yeah, we're going to get back into the vlog. This was a lengthy, unnecessarily long, rambling portion, but this is just a bunch of clips of stuff from the winter that I, either had and I was like, I'm going to put it in a vlog and then like never did. Here it is. Here's the vlog for the winter and little clips of my life. I hope you enjoy it.